On the off chance that I could never met him, I couldn't ever have been engaged with this bull, you understand what I'm talking about. For what reason did he offer those remarks? What was he given to offer those remarks on that critical night in Las Vegas? September 7, 1996, as the city hummed with the consequence of Mike Tyson's quick triumph. An undeniably more vile situation transpired. Tupac Shakur, a Goliath in the rap business, was pitilessly gunned down, his life ebbing ceaselessly in the secondary lounge of a smooth dark 1996 B750 Didis. Second, intended to be a festival, transformed into a troubling part in music history. Many years have passed since that evening, a period loaded up with quieted guests and slippery insights. However, presently a frightening advancement has arisen. Politeness of Gan Bargain, Diddy's ex-protector. He said that huge drawer he was around 400 pounds. So Orlando he was unable to have an unmistakable chance, assuming he hung over large drawer on the craft of exchange bargain, dropped a stunner that takes steps to unwind. The long-held account of Shakur's end is unequivocally that Orlando didn't do the shooting. This disclosure reignites long lethargic inquiries, as well as clues at a chilling chance. Was Diddy a force to be reckoned with in the music world, the engineer behind perhaps of the most famous wrongdoing in hip jump history? The ramifications of Arrangement's case are momentous, further verified by Suv Knight and an unknown source during the K preliminary. This new point paints a considerably more complicated and dim picture. Gan Bargain, energized by proof and a powerful blend of enthusiasm, challenges the many years old story told by KD, proposing a de-established connivance. With possibly crushing repercussions, he knows who he's going to get a firearm to accomplish the work. It won't be no if ANS and handles about it. So assuming he gave Dre a firearm, this proportion brings to the fore an elective suspect, enormous Dre. As per an undisclosed source, referred to by Bargain, enormous Drew, not Orlando, was the vital figure on that sad night. He had a disjoint arm. And regardless of whether is this shooting hand, this guarantee is reinforced by portrayals of large Dre's monumental actual height, assessed to be around 400 pounds, raising questions about the possibility of Orlando executing the shooting over such a monstrous presence. Yet the explanation, he recounted that story around then, Dre was as yet alive. And Orlando was, as we dig further into the unpredictable web encompassing Tupac Shakur's death, the job of Diddy's terrible kid diversion during the 90s hip-bound scene can't be disregarded. The name, a titan of East Coast hip jump, was the chronicled of Shakur's Death Row Records shaker, and a seismic occasion cast a dim shadow over Death Row, while apparently preparing for terrible kid diversion's craftsmen to climb the convergence of Diddy's ascent. And Tupac URSDs outlines a macabre situation, recommending thought processes entwined with individual and expert competitions. KD's frightening admissions in his book, Compton Road Legend, add fuel to this story of intrigue, his chilling record subtleties. His discussions with Diddy, where Diddy purportedly communicated a wish to deal with Shakur and Suge Knight. Anything for them, failure head, you know. Better believe it, give you anything for these folks head. Definitely he expressed it before all them individuals. I could accept KD's supposed reaction that is not an issue we can get that going reverberations through the creatures of this secret, giving Diddy a role as a potential genius, with Orlando Anderson as an accidental pawn. He tells you genuinely, man, I want to dispose of these folks. He's looking at you without flinching. And he resembles terrified, definitely. Moreover, KD guaranteed, in a meeting with the specialty of discourse, that Diddy was cheerful as damnation. When he learned it was KD's gathering who executed the assault, loaning an evil edge to the unfurling dramatization, Gan Bargain, Diddy's previous guardian ventures into the fry-bringing experiences that further slant the equilibrium of doubt towards Diddy Bargain, proposes Diddy could have utilized the circumstance for his benefit, focusing on Tupac in a more extensive procedure of industry predominance and individual retribution. His remarks add profundity to the current hypotheses, as well as bring up issues about his ongoing inspirations. Are these disclosures driven by a veritable journey for truth, or something more self-serving? Did he have some sort of contribution in a for-hire plan? Curiously, Las Vegas authorities likewise kept up with that Orlando was not the shooter, a position that messes up the generally acknowledged story. This irregularity makes one wonder, are Kiwi's allegations a cunning confusion, conceivably coordinated by Diddy, to redirect doubt previously went after Orlando? Anderson, they had a past meet in a new discussion with the specialty of exchange on October 26 arrangement, gave more experiences. While recognizing his past collaborations with Kefi, he avoided straightforwardly ensnaring Diddy in any crook activities, zeroing in rather on their social ties. Key I've seen him various times. They were mingling, betting, drinking, and hanging out in lodgings. They had a relationship bargain, noted portraying the connections as friendly and relaxed bargain. Likewise communicated his preparation to affirm if necessary, proposing an eagerness to be straightforward about these occasions. He further referred to criminal investigator Greg Caden's work, raising some serious questions about KD proclamations and indicating conceivable caution. And getting these accounts, KD, no lack of respect bargain, said did what was important to get his freedom. He got out whatever he needed to be a liberated person. This assertion highlights the intricacy of KV's situation as a critical figure in this continuous story. Lord's discoveries drove him to presume that Diddy employed Crips gangster Dwayne Key D. Davis Shakur and Suge Knight. The story encompassing the unfortunate end of Tupac Shakur, one of Hip Jump's most famous figures, keeps on thickening with horde voices, adding to a melody of allegations and speculations. It's not just Gene Bargan and Kefaidi who are pointing fingers at Diddy's supposed association in this dim part of music history. Other prominent figures are likewise joining the fray, each bringing their viewpoint and mixing the pot of this mind-boggling adventure. Mesa, Harlem local and previous of Terrible Kid Records quietly bumped at Diddy's supposed association with Kefi D and the death of Shakur. My main 5 garbage snapshots of the week. I'm going beginning it out with no other damn Kefi Key D on an episode of What Will Be taken care of obliviousness while examining Key D was telling stand by stand by stand by stand. By where do I have any idea? That name, you realize that name sound natural. The ramifications was not lost on the crowd, particularly when Bubba name alluded to Diddy, with a copy of his unique rhythm expressing no for genuine. I don't have a clue. Mama's response to the fresh insight about Key D's capture was one of fake shock. Goodness, that is insane, he said, adding seriously, I mean, we at last getting equity, man. You understand what I'm talking about, I supplicate. I asked Tupac. Get equity, whoever is involved. He wanted equity, his remarks. While Coy add one more layer of innuendo to the unfurling story. 50 Penny, known for his unfiltered suppositions and Frez proclamations, got straight to the point in his allegations against Diddy. In an Instagram post dated October 9, he straightforwardly asserted that Diddy was behind Shakur's death in any event, encouraging him to attorney up, considering KD's capture later at a show. 50 Penny emphasized this case to the crowd. Perhaps I expressed that about Puffy on the grounds that he got Tupac killed. His strong statements, however questionable, add to the developing haze of doubt around Diddy. Eminem, one more titan of the rap business, likewise held up into these dim waters with his track Slope Fired focused on automatic rifle Kelly in the tune Eminem charges. Yet Kel's the day you put out a stirs things up around town. Diddy concedes that he put the hit out that got Tack killed, despite the fact that he finished up with a disclaimer expressing he was simply playing the notice related well-established bits of gossip about Diddy's conceivable contribution in the adventure. The narrative enlivened by the returning of Biggie Little's death case by his mom in 2006 delivered frightening disclosures from lap analyst Greg Kading, after broad examination, presumed that Diddy was associated with Tupac Shakur's death. He said that Diddy had close binds with leg groups and employed Crips M doing Keith Key D. Davis to kill Shakur and Scheid. As per Kading, the arrangement was changed. Without a second to spare prompting Orlando Child Path Anderson, Key D's nephew, pulling the trigger while Puffy's mindful that the FBI's been watching him. The narrative likewise proposed that Confidence Evans, Biggie's then spouse, could have known about Diddy's plot. Kading guaranteed that after Shakur's death, KPD reached both Diddy and Evans to educate them regarding the fruitful hit. Quite Kading stated that Big Deal was not associated with Tupac Shakur's death, featuring the intricacy of connections and loyalties in this adventure. Every one of these viewpoints, while varying in tone and unequivocal quality, unite on a solitary, disrupting speculation: Did's conceivable association in the death of Tupac Shakur. In the midst of the deluge of claims and doubts twirling around the end of Tupac Shakur Diddy position, has been one predictable forswearing. For a long time, he has repelled all paces, connecting him to the unfortunate occasion. Yet,